I can't do this anymore, Vic. You're an embarrassment. I'm done pretending you matter. Those were the words my husband said to me at our 7th anniversary party, in front of everyone. My name is Victoria. I'm 34 years old. And that night, standing in a room full of people who watched him walk out, I learned something I should have known years ago. The person who promises to love you can become the one who destroys you the fastest. Derek and I had been married for 7 years. When we first met, he believed in me. He'd stay up late while I worked on design projects, bring me coffee, tell me I was talented. Back then, I was a freelance graphic designer. Modest income, flexible schedule. I worked from home, took on small clients, built websites, designed logos. It wasn't glamorous, but it was mine. Over the years, Derek climbed the corporate ladder. He became a VP of sales at a tech firm. Big salary, big title, big ego. And as his income grew, his respect for me shrank. I wasn't the polished corporate wife he wanted on his arm. I didn't have a job title that impressed his colleagues. I didn't fit his new image. But here's the thing. While he was busy being embarrassed by me, I was working on something in secret. Something he never noticed. Something that was about to change everything. I wasn't the wife he wanted me to be, but I had something he never saw coming. If you've ever been underestimated by the person who promised to stand by you, drop your location in the comments. I read everyone. The anniversary party was Derek's idea. He wanted to celebrate in front of his work friends and family. I thought it was sweet at first, a gesture of love, a fresh start. I spent 3 weeks planning it. I booked a beautiful venue downtown, white tablecloths, string lights across the ceiling, a playlist of our favorite songs. I curated the guest list myself, mixing his corporate crowd with our old friends from college. I wanted it to feel like us, like the people we used to be. The night of the event, I arrived early. The caterers were setting up. The coordinator was arranging flowers. Everything looked perfect. Derek showed up an hour late, already irritated. He walked in, glanced around, and muttered, "Why'd you invite these people? Half of them don't even have real jobs." I tried to brush it off. "They're our friends, Derek." He didn't respond. Guests started trickling in. I greeted them at the door, smiling, pretending everything was fine. Then Derek's boss arrived. A tall man in an expensive suit. He shook Derek's hand, turned to me, and said, "So, your wife's still doing the, what was it, arts and crafts thing?" Derek laughed. "Yeah, she keeps busy." I felt the sting. But I stayed quiet. I always stayed quiet. More guests arrived. The music played. People mingled. Then Derek's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen, and his entire expression changed. He looked at me with disgust. Pure disgust. And then he said it. Loudly. Clearly. Enough for the people nearby to hear. "I can't keep pretending. You've dragged me down long enough." He turned, walked toward the door, got in his car, and left. The room went silent. The caterers froze mid-pour. The coordinator gasped. A few guests shuffled awkwardly toward the exit. I stood there, holding an unopened envelope in my shaking hands. The venue coordinator whispered, "Should we cancel everything?" I took a breath. "No. Let them come." You want to know the worst part? It wasn't the first time Derek made me feel small. 6 months before that night, he stopped inviting me to his company dinners. He said, "You don't get the culture, Vic. It's better if I go solo." I didn't argue. I trusted him. Then I saw the photos, posted by his coworkers, tagged on social media. Derek at a rooftop restaurant, smiling, laughing. And sitting next to him, a woman named Jenna, his coworker, his +1. When I confronted him, he didn't even flinch. "It's networking, Vic. Don't be insecure." That was betrayal number 1. Betrayal number 2 came at a family dinner with his parents. His mother asked about my design work. I started to answer, but Derek cut me off. She's basically a hobbyist. It's cute, but it's not a real business. His father laughed. Good thing you can support her, son. I tried to defend myself. I mentioned a client project I was proud of. Derek interrupted again. Can we talk about something that matters? I felt my face go hot. My throat tightened. But I didn't cry. Not in front of them. Betrayal number 3 was the quietest and the cruelest. 2 months before the anniversary, Derek moved our joint bank account into his name only. He said it was for tax reasons. Then he started giving me an allowance for groceries, for personal expenses. When I questioned it, he said, I'm the one earning. I get to decide. I stopped arguing, but I opened my own account in secret. Despite everything, I kept working. Late nights, early mornings. While Derek slept, I was designing, creating, building something he knew nothing about. I started pulling away emotionally, planning my independence. And that night at the anniversary party, even as he abandoned me in front of everyone, I didn't cry. I took a breath, and I stayed. A few guests trickled back in, some out of curiosity, some out of pity. I told the DJ to keep the music going. What Derek didn't know was that I hadn't just been designing logos for small clients. For the last 18 months, I'd been the lead designer for a startup's entire rebrand. The company was called Sustain Style, a sustainable fashion app, and they were about to go public with a major launch. I signed an NDA, so I couldn't tell anyone, not even Derek. My work was about to be featured in Forbes, in Fast Company, on national morning shows. I'd been in constant contact with the CEO, the PR team, and a business mentor named Elena, a former creative director who believed in me when no one else did. The envelope I was holding? It was my invitation to the launch event, happening that same night, across town. I was planning to surprise Derek with the news after the anniversary toast. I wanted to see his face when he realized what I'd accomplished, but he left. He left before he could see who I really was. My phone buzzed. A text from Elena. Where are you? Launch is in 30 minutes. The press is here. They want you. I stared at the screen. Another text. This time from my best friend, Jade. I just heard what Derek did. Don't you dare let him win. Get to that launch. I hesitated. Part of me wanted to curl up and disappear. But another part of me, the part that had been working in silence for 18 months, wanted to fight. Meanwhile, Derek was at a bar across town with Jenna. I know because his brother told me later. Derek texted him, Finally did it. I'm free. His brother replied, You sure? Vic's a good one. Derek wrote back, She's dead weight. I need someone who fits my life now. Back at the venue, a few loyal friends had stayed. Jade, 2 old friends from college, my younger sister. They surrounded me in the bathroom while I fixed my makeup. Jade said, You've worked too hard to let him ruin this. I looked at myself in the mirror. I'd brought a different dress for the launch. A sleek black one, confident, bold. I changed, fixed my lipstick, took a breath. When I walked back out, I told the remaining guests, Thank you for staying, but I have somewhere I need to be. Derek's boss was still there. He overheard the commotion and asked, What's happening? Jade, protective as always, said, Victoria's the lead designer for the launch everyone's talking about tonight. Maybe you've heard of it? His face changed. Wait, the Sustain Style app? That's her? I didn't wait for his reaction. I grabbed my coat and left. The launch event was across town. A modern gallery space, glass walls, exposed brick. When I walked in, the room was packed. Press, investors, influencers, Industry professionals? Cameras flashed. The CEO spotted me and rushed over, smiling. There she is, the visionary behind our entire brand identity. My work was displayed on massive screens around the room. Logos, campaigns, app interface designs, everything I'd poured my heart into. A journalist approached me, holding a recorder. "Can I ask what inspired this project?" I found my voice. "I've spent years being told my work didn't matter. Tonight, I'm proving that wrong." She smiled. "That's a powerful story." Meanwhile, Derek's phone lit up. A notification, a tagged post from his boss. "Incredible launch event for Sustain Style. Congrats to the creative genius Victoria." The photo showed me on stage, smiling, holding an award. Derek's stomach dropped. He texted me immediately. "Where are you? We need to talk." I didn't respond. 20 minutes later, Derek showed up at the launch. He tried to push through the crowd. Security stopped him. "Name?" "I'm her husband." "You're not on the list." He saw me through the glass doors, surrounded by people, laughing, confident. He finally caught my attention. I stepped outside. Derek looked frantic. "Vic, I didn't know. I didn't realize." I stayed calm. "You didn't realize because you never asked. You never saw me. I made a mistake. Let me fix this." I shook my head. "You called me an embarrassment in front of everyone. You left me standing there. You don't get to come back now." I pulled off my wedding ring, held it out to him. "I spent years trying to be enough for you. I'm done. I'm finally enough for me." He stared at the ring. I pulled out the contract from my bag. My name credited. My equity stake in the startup. My upcoming features in major publications. "This is what you walked away from, Derek. Not just me. The life we could have built together." He opened his mouth, closed it. There was nothing left to say. I walked back inside. Derek stood outside, watching through the glass. Then he turned and left. I gave a short speech that night. Thanked Elena. Thanked my real supporters. The next week, I moved my things out of our apartment. His family tried to reach out. His mother left a voicemail. "We didn't know you were doing so well." I didn't respond. 3 months later, my work was featured on the cover of a design magazine. Derek sent an email, another apology, asking for another chance. I deleted it without reading past the subject line. For years, I thought I needed his approval to matter. But that night, standing in front of that crowd, I realized the only approval I ever needed was my own. He left me at our anniversary, but I walked into my future. If you've ever been underestimated by someone who promised to love you, hit subscribe and tell me your story in the comments. Where are you watching from? I want to hear from every single one of you. Drop your location below. Your dreams are valid, even when the people closest to you can't see them. Don't let anyone dim your light. I'll see you in the next one. Keep shining.